Hi, Dave. Welcome to the EO Wonder podcast.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So today we have Dave Kerpen, the current president of the EO New York chapter, a serial entrepreneur, New York Times bestselling author, and current CEO of Apprentice. He recently sold his business, Likeable, and I'm just so excited to talk to him today. How's it going? How are you handling things right now?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, 2020 and 2021 have dealt us some challenging cards at times, but I remain extremely optimistic.
Yeah. Well, you certainly have the skills. You have this best-selling book called Likeable, so you probably have the people skills to get you through the pandemic. What was the hardest thing for you in the past year?
Actually, I lost three people. I lost my mom, I lost my grandma, and I lost my wife's uncle. So that has to be, of course, the hardest thing. We ended up actually launching a new business because I had to have a virtual memorial service. So we realized that so many others would have the same problem that I had. So we actually launched a business called Remembering.live, and we've actually helped over 500 grieving families now. But yeah, I would say that dealing with those deaths by far the hardest part, followed in second by just being all cooped up in the house. I mean, I think we've all gotten cabin fever after so much time stuck in quarantine.
Yeah, well, I am just so sorry to hear, but it's such a tremendous loss. I mean, your mom, so close, that is just so. Can you tell us a little bit more about Remember.live? If anyone wants to.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I think I'm proud of it for a couple of reasons. One, because when I speak on entrepreneurship, I talk about solving problems, just seeing problems and solving them. And we really just it was really just my mom passed. It was right at the beginning of the pandemic. We couldn't get together, so we figured out a way to do a virtual service on Zoom and do some. We made a tribute website, and it was a really nice service. And then my apprentice at the time, actually, my assistant, he said, Dave, I think a lot of other people are going to have this problem. And I said, you're right. What can we do about it? And we started a business together. And it started off just with virtual memorial services, and we actually expanded. We ended up doing corporate holiday parties on Zoom because every company does holiday parties, but they couldn't this past year. And so, 12 months later, my business partner joined EOA because they were already, we hit the 250K mark in a few months, and he'll probably join EO this year. So for me, being able to start a business and then have my 22-year-old business partner be in EO within a year and a half of that business, it's pretty special.
Oh, yeah. I know we've streamed some Celebration of Life recently. One of our coaches in elementary school, passed. Anyway, so that was really, really tough. It's just to have, yeah, there's a lot of repercussions from this pandemic. So what are you looking forward to now then? I know that it was a tough year.
Yeah, I mean, we sold our first business, and that's been a wonderful experience. And now I don't really like to rest at all. So we're working on building Apprentice, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really bullish on it. I feel like, so what Apprentice is a marketplace, a managed marketplace that connects CEOs and entrepreneurs with the best and brightest college students and to serve as their VAs. But they're not really your ordinary VA because they're Harvard business students, right? So imagine that a Harvard business student, the day he or she graduates, you're going to have to pay him or her $75,000 to $100,000 if you want to hire them. Well, what if you hire them a year before they graduate? Now you have the same exact person that's going to make $75,000 to $100,000, but you can get them for a lot less. That's kind of the core value proposition. And I think, we're going to see, but we're scaling fast. And I think it's really scalable business because there's so many college students and there's so many CEOs and entrepreneurs. The other thing that I'm really excited about, we started a small venture fund where we're investing in women-owned and BIPOC entrepreneurs. And so I can support other entrepreneurs, which is really neat.
Oh, congratulations. What's the name of the venture fund?
It's Kerpen Ventures. So just, our last name.
Oh, nice.
And we're writing pretty small checks now, but the goal is to deploy about 500K and then hopefully do a great job deploying our own money. And then our second fund, we can take other people's money and deploy a little bit more to help fund more entrepreneurs in need.
Sometimes I believe that when you give someone too much money, like they don't get as creative and scrappy. I think that the best ideas come when you're bootstrapping, frankly. Like sometimes it can be, a hurdle. So, but yeah, I think, these checks will help them get, their foundation, their feet under them. They certainly need some of that. Well, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the sale of your company and how you did it, any lessons learned there, because I'm sure people in EO want
Yeah,
to know.
yeah, totally. I would say the first thing we did, we read a book called Built to Sell years ago by John Warlow. Yeah, great book. And that really helped us, even before we knew whether we were going to sell or not, it helped us think about how to build in sellable, repeatable, predictable revenue processes and teams and have the business run itself and be able to run itself without us. So that was really valuable. And then when it came time to sell, we hired a broker who helped us. We had a terrific attorney who helped us. We had a terrific accountant who helped us. So I would say the most important lesson was having a great biz dev sort of sales team, a selling your business team by our side. We learned the hard way about negotiation and having some non-negotiables. So we knew we would very likely have an earnout, but we wanted to make sure we would have complete control of the P&L. So many businesses sell, especially agencies, they sell and they lose. They things don't go well after the initial sale, between the sale time and the earnout. And so we insisted upon a buyer that would give my wife and business partner Carrie complete control of the P&L for the business unit moving forward. So that was really important. Being able to walk away, right? I mean, I think that in any great negotiation, you have to be able to walk away. And we were prepared, if our non-negotiables weren't met, to walk away from the deal. So by being prepared to do that, we were able ultimately to come to a really great agreement and get the deal done.
What made you want to sell the company?
Yeah, great question. So every year, my wife and I do a strategic planning retreat where we assess what's going on with our businesses, with our careers, with our family, with our lives, and we think about it. And of course, as we built a business over the last 11, 12 years, it became a topic that we thought about every year. Hey, is this the time? Hey, is this the time? Well, in 2019, at our strategic planning retreat, we said, you know what? I think it's the time. We want to take some money off the table, set up our family with more safety and security, and move on to some new ventures. And so we made that decision in the end of 2019. 2020, of course, was a very challenging year, but fortunately for us, I mean, in digital marketing actually was a very good year for many. And we have a lot of supermarket clients and clients that continued to spend. And so by the end of 2020, we had prepared ourselves. In 2020, we took that year to really clean up the books, make sure that everything was prepared to sell, so that when we actually went to the market and did a process, our broker told us it would take less than 90 days, Kalika, and took 87 days from start to finish. From when we listed the business, we got 3 great offers. We met with 2 very closely, and ultimately, we took one of the 3 offers and ended up getting to close with it. So yeah, it was actually a pretty quick process once we listed it, but of course it was years in the making and a lot of thoughtful planning and considerations about when the right time would be for our family.
That makes so much sense because most people that I talk to when they're selling the companies, it's a preparation time about 3 years. But you probably, like you said, you already had your foundation, you had your feet under you. You're already doing the right things.
I think reading Built to Sell years ago, it's funny because I'm doing the Built to Sell podcast in a couple weeks too, which we're so excited about. I think reading Built to Sell so many years ago allowed us to be thinking the right way, even long before we were actually going to sell. And so once we made the decision to sell, we actually didn't have as much work to do. The books were actually pretty well in order. I mean, we improved them, but they were pretty well in order. The team was the right team that we had put together with that in mind. There's recurring revenue. I know recurring revenue is a real challenge for a lot of agencies, but we had built a really predictable recurring revenue model. So, I mean, nothing is easy, and certainly I would never say that selling a company is easy. But I think that having read and practiced the stuff in Built to Sell, we were able to make it easier than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, so I read Built to Sell and Automatic Customer a couple years ago when I went through EMP. Did you go through EMP?
I haven't, but I've heard
Okay.
amazing things. Is it
Yeah.
amazing?
Yeah, well, John spoke to us. Like that was, I mean, but I had already read the book because so many, we have all these little secret books that the EOers pass around us. And for everyone who's listening who doesn't know what EMP is, Entrepreneur's Master's Program at MIT. And I don't know, I'm not that you need to go, but what a fantastic learning. Just like how your retreat with your wife, there's no, I mean, we as entrepreneurs, we don't have time to take away from our business. And this is the time where we can think and we can plan and we can strategize. So I'm so glad. Congratulations. The recurring revenue piece also. You know what? When you talk to John, Tom, he's made me so much money just by doing that recurring revenue model because we've now put that in place. We were doing things basically for free just because, and now we charge for it. So, you know, what is it? The MMR? Is that what they call it? The
Monthly,
monthly.
MRR, monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, congratulations. So, are there any tips that you can give entrepreneurs that they can learn from your experience?
Yeah, I mean, with respect to selling the business, I would say plan and build that sellable business from the very start. Think, and I know this is a very big thing with EO, but as much as possible, how you can, I always thought as much as possible how I could work on the business and not in the business, and really always get myself out of the business and delegate, delegate, delegate. A big part of what we're doing with Apprentice is helping teach entrepreneurs and small business owners how to delegate better. Because the thing is, if we're stuck talking to clients, talking to customers, working on the website, working on marketing, if we're stuck doing all those things, we can never step out of ourselves and work on the business and take the business to the next level. And it breaks my heart. I do a lot of mentorship. I mentor my EOAers. I mentor some pre-EOAers in another mentorship program we have. I do office hours for entrepreneurs that want to meet with me. And I see it over and over and over again, Kalika. They have the best of intentions, entrepreneurs, but what so many struggle with is control and wanting to get everything done the way they need to get it done. And it doesn't scale. It doesn't scale. And so the thing is, I know when I delegate something, it's not going to get done as well as had I done it myself. I know that. And yet I still delegate it because guess what? If I do everything myself because I'm the best person to do it, I'll never be able to focus on the big stuff. So yes, I delegate it. I forget about it. Sometimes people make horrible mistakes. And you know what? It's okay. It still works out just fine. And I think it's that mindset that's really served me well. And I am always hopeful that entrepreneurs listening and going through EO and going through all the experiences that we go through together will be able to have that moment where they sort of shift and are able to say, okay, I know I have to delegate. I know I have to empower. I know I have to let go of control, even if it means people are going to make a lot of mistakes, because in the long run, it ends up serving us better.
In EMP, one of the most vivid learnings I got was from one of the professors who said, get the monkey off your back. And that's basically what a task is. She's like, you don't want this monkey on your back. Try to give it to someone else. Like that is really the goal. And I also truly believe what you said, that team is so important because, and a team that you can trust, because a lack of trust is your biggest expense.
Absolutely. When I was interviewing for my second book, Likeable Business, interviewed Vern Harnish, who obviously all of our listeners will know, founder of EO, terrific entrepreneur, author, mentor. He's actually an investor of mine as well. Great, great guy. And he said there's three things that every CEO should do. And that's it. And I said, wow, only three things. But it's setting the vision and strategy of the company. It's putting the right people in the right seats. And it's making sure there's enough money in the bank to make payroll. That's it. If I do those three things, that's literally all I have to do. And then I can spend the rest of my day hanging out with my son and hanging out on podcasts with my friend Kalika. That's what it's all about. And so often we get so confused and we think we have to do all these other things. But I think Vern's totally right. Like, let's focus on the very most important vision and strategy, right people in right seats hiring wise, and making sure there's enough money in the bank to pay everyone.
Build a business, not a job.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Build a business, not a job. And we call ourselves Entrepreneurs Organization, but at the risk of giving some tough love, there's some of us that don't necessarily have quite the same entrepreneurial mindset. We have a small business mindset. And I love even the word small business, right? Like basically a small business owner is a little bit more small-minded than an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is thinking, how can I build, grow? I want to go from 1 to 5 to 10 to 50 to exit or whatever it is. And it almost doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care if you want to build a $100 million company or a $10 million company or a $5 million company, but it's that growth mindset that differentiates us entrepreneurs from the small business owners out there.
And once we figure that out, we can have an extraordinary life. People are like, why do you have so much time? I have so much time. I have so much time. And I have like 5 companies, and same like, I have a podcast, just like you. So, and kids, like you have kids.
I'm recording this podcast, Kalika, and right after this, I pick up my son off the bus, my 6-year-old son, and we spend every Friday afternoon together. It's daddy day. I mean, people that have jobs can't do that.
Can't do
I'm
that.
so blessed and fortunate, A, to be an entrepreneur and do that, and B, to set up our systems and our businesses such that I can do that. I mean, none of my employees across any of my companies are going to email me in the next 5 hours because they know that it's daddy and set time. And that's it.
Yeah.
Period, end of story. And I think that ultimately, there'll be some listening that think I can't do that because fill in the blank. You know what? Figure out a way to prioritize what's important to you is what I would say, right? And when we can do that, nobody ever said on their deathbed, I wish I had made more money. I wish I had worked harder. Never, ever. But lots and lots of people have said, I wish I didn't. I wish I had spent more time with my kids. I wish I had been there for my husband or wife. I wish I had fill in the blank personal stuff. So I remind myself every single day how grateful I am to have the life that I have been able to build with my wife and make sure that I focus on the priorities, what's really, really important to me.
Yeah. And if we make the right decisions, because, right, Dave, you and I are making suggestions, but it's the entrepreneur that has to make that decision to delegate so that they can show up fully for their own life.
Yeah, that's right. And I have a free ebook on tools and tips and tricks for delegation that I give away all the time. And it's really a great ebook. But at the end of the day, all of the tools and tips and tactics in the world won't matter if the mindset isn't there. We have to get out of our own way. We have to get that monkey off our back, like you said, Kalika. We have to be able to truly empower people and to let go of our need to control, our need to make everything perfect, our need to make sure that everything is done. We just have to in order to get to that next level. And I know it's very, very hard for folks. So I don't mean to say that it's easy. And yet it is really essential if we're going to take it to the next level and to your point, like have that freedom and have that the good life, if you will.
Have you ever watched that TED Talk called How to Solve a Wicked Problem?
Oh, no, but I like it. I love good TED Talks. Who did it?
Oh, I forgot his name, but basically he talks about the trick is figure out how you would make a peanut butter sandwich. And because you talk a little bit about process, right? If there is no clarity in your process, like you could actually tell someone how to create, like how you would make your own peanut butter sandwich, you will understand how to develop a good processes. This is, I think, a must watch for all entrepreneurs, how to solve a wicked problem by making a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Right? Send it to your apprentice.
It could
so
be
good.
Tom Wojcik or Stephen Day. I don't know if either of those names rings a bell for you.
He's got glasses. He's got this gray hair. But how to solve a wicked problem.
I'm gonna look up how to solve a wicked problem.
TED.
Peanut butter. Well, TED Talk. Well, no, I already found 2 TED Talks. Believe it or not.
Tom Wojcik. First,
Okay,
tell
great.
me. Yeah. First, got a wicked problem. First, tell me how to blah blah blah.
How you make toast. Yeah.
Yes,
Tom,
how to make toast. That's it.
there you go. Now I know what I will be doing next, Kalika. I will be watching the TED Talk about how to solve a wicked problem by Tom Wojcik, and to thank you for sharing that.
And have your 6-year-old show you how he makes his peanut butter jelly sandwich. Because I think it's true. Like once you figure out, right, your process, how you want to do it, and do it in your elegant way, your perfect way, and just hone it and have them do it. Why are you doing it? You shouldn't be doing it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I think people want to get their feet wet. I think in the beginning we have to get their feet wet, In the very beginning, I used to, update the websites. I don't do that anymore. I know how. I'm not going to ever do that. I would never. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. It becomes a habit, and it's easy at the beginning. I totally will give you that. At the very beginning, we don't know anything. I mean, when I joined DO, I had just done our first $1 million in revenue, and I swear I am not kidding when I say I literally did not know what a P&L was. Like literally, I would be like, "What does the P and the L stand for again?" Like, so when I think back,
like the pineal gland.
So of course I was trying to do everything. I was trying to, be the customer service guy and the marketing guy and the sales guy and the janitor. And we almost glorify that, right? There's some glory to like the hustle and the getting everything done, but it's a trap. It's a trap. And the real way to get everything done is to step back, take a breath, find the people that can start getting stuff done, that right seats and the right people and the right seats on the bus kind of thing, and then help guide them and coach them to success, right? So I spend the vast majority of my time meeting with our leaders and helping coach them and mentor them, because they'll be the future, leaders they are, and they will continue to be the future leaders of our company, of our companies. And that's where I spend my time. And by the way, I use the word coach very, very specifically and intentionally, because I don't like the word manage and manager. Nobody likes a manager. I mean, show me anyone that likes to have a manager. Nobody. But does everybody like a coach? Yes, everyone likes a coach. Coach is your cheerleader, person that helps you succeed, etc. So when I think of the role that I have with the people that are my sort of second level leaders at our companies, I'm always a coach versus a manager. How can I get you from here to there? How can I help get you faster, further, and help you succeed? That's my mentality, and I think it works better than this sort of like task managing type manager, if you will.
Who's your favorite athletic coach?
Oh, that's a good question. I have not, that of myself or of my as a fan.
As a fan.
As a fan. So I'm a huge New York Mets fan, and I'll give a shout out.
So is my husband. He would be so happy.
Oh, I wish when he was in New York, he had hung with me. I would have totally taken him to a game. I'm so sad.
God, huge, right? And not embarrassed about it, but huge.
I have season tickets. You have a standing invite, Kalika.
Thank you.
I'd love to take your husband to a game.
Die hard.
Awesome.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, then he'll know this name. He was a manager back in the 80s. The last time, unfortunately, the Mets won the World Series, way back in 1986. So his name was Davey Johnson, and he was a player's manager. Okay, so he ended up getting fired by the ownership because he was like too much of a player's manager, but he was a player's manager, and he got them to perform because they loved him. They loved him, and they played hard for him. And that's the kind of manager and coach that I want to be, and that I want my people to be, somebody that is of the people, and that works on building culture, and that isn't worried always about following all the rules, but is going to be somebody that people respect and play hard for.
Yeah. You know who my GOAT is?
Who?
John Wooden.
Nice. Yes. Well, of course you have the LA, you have the California.
The UCLA. Yeah. One of my favorite precepts, don't mistake activity for achievement. Right?
Because people are often running around in circles, right?
Yeah.
And that's the rat trap. They're running around the hamster wheel, and you're totally right. That is not achievement. That is activity for activity's sake. Yep.
Right? You should put that in your little wall. And also do your best that's within your power. That's all he asked for, was just to do your best. Ask ourselves, and as entrepreneurs, are we doing our best by not delegating? Right? We're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think the definition of success is?
Ooh, good question. I would say success is reaching one's goals.
Mhm.
So in order to find that success, you have to first have the goals in the first place, which is really important, and then
True.
reaching those goals. And I do have a good line, hopefully a good line around success and happiness and gratitude. Most people uh, have it kind of backwards. They think if I work really, really hard,
Yeah.
then I'll be successful and then I can be happy. And then once I'm happy, I can be grateful for it all. And the reverse is true, as it turns out, Kalika. When we are grounded in gratitude, which is why I start and end my day every single day with gratitude. And every single day at our dinner table, everyone goes around the room and everyone shares at my dinner table one person they're grateful for in the family, one person they're grateful for outside of the family, and their favorite moment of the day. So if we are grateful, then we put ourselves in a mindset of being happy, which is contagious, by the way, for us entrepreneurs, and allows us to become more successful. So that's how I operate: gratitude, then happiness, then success. And then I actually worked. I have this. We're on audio, but I have this whole uh, uh, OKRs, objectives and key results, around all of my goals in leadership, health, and family, three areas of my life that are super important. So this is success to me if and when I reach these goals.
So, in other words, the key to your success is defining what it feels like, not what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what, there's a like everything we've talked about, it's about mindset. And if we set impossible goals for ourselves and we're never happy, then are we ever really successful? Is that going to be great? And if we but on the other hand, if we set smart, reasonable goals and we go about the process with an attitude of gratitude, then we're going to be able to achieve that success. And more important, we're going to be able to enjoy that success. Because this word success is so loaded, and so often folks are air quote successful without being actually happy or fulfilled or anything like that. And what's the point?
Yeah, from the outside, it looks good. It reminds me of when I was in New York. I was a journalist and I was on air at Bloomberg. I was producer at CNBC. From the outside, it looked really like, oh, look what she's doing. First year out of college, first year out of NYU, and I was miserable. I was just like the worst. It was like horrible. And then, starting businesses, right? Bootstrapping, like that's when you're most happy. So even just recognizing it and having that type of vision for your life and actually being truthful, right? Being truthful with how you feel.
Totally. That brings me
Yeah.
back to EO and Forum, and what an amazing transformational experience it's been for me,
Yeah.
and to have a group that we share our feelings with so deeply every single month. And it's just it's been a true game changer for me. My Forum, I love them so much, and able to be. I'm just so grateful that I'm able to be so vulnerable with them.
Yeah. And I want to go back to also what you were saying about sort of like the state of mind, the mindset, because a lot of times I think people think that when they have a lot of obstacles or challenges, that they're not allowed to pursue joy at that moment. I think you can. I think that even in the midst of peculiar, uncertain times, we can pursue joy, we can pursue peace, we can pursue, positivity, even during the dark times.
Totally. And for me, the way I do that is really truly to channel that gratitude. When I'm
Mhm.
feeling at my worst, at my
Mhm.
most negative, at my most down, my most depressed,
Yeah.
which happens. I mean, look, people consider me like the most optimistic, positive person, but of, of course there's lots of down. I lost 3 people last year. I lost my mom, like you said. Um, it's hard when I am at my darkest. I turn to gratitude each and every time. I make a gratitude list. One of my favorite, I'm very competitive. So one of my favorite things to do is I open up the notes app on my phone and I set my timer for 2 minutes and I make a list of as many people and things that I'm grateful for as I can in 2 minutes. And I try to break my record every time. And you know what happens at the end of this is a 2-minute exercise that's totally free, costs zero. At the end of 2 minutes, every single time I've ever done this, Kalika, my mood is significantly improved. It's just amazing because when we get out of our own stupid shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what on the podcast. When we get out of our own way, when we get out of our own just mess, we realize our place in this world and all the amazing people and things that we have to be grateful for. It's so humbling and it's so valuable because it's like, the hell was I even upset about? I mean, I have so many things, right? It just, for me, that's an enormous, very valuable hack. I mean, I guess you could call it a hack, but really it's a practice that has served me very, very well.
All right, everyone. The Kerpen KPI, Key Performance Indicator, 2 minutes of gratitude on the Notes app. That is brilliant. I love that.
Thank you. And it's not even a fancy app. I'm sure there's better apps to do that. I just literally take out my Notes app on the iPhone and create a new note. The record is 72, by the way. 72 in 2 minutes.
And they're not the same, right? Like you have to think about something new, right? It's not like, right.
Something new. That's the rules. Because otherwise it's like, it gets easy to cheat if you're not like rethinking about it. But no, you got to rethink it. You got to write it. That's the rule.
Yeah, I think the difference is when a lot of people do gratitude, it's very just like, oh, let me just get it out of the way, like let's just check it off the list. But the reason why your gratitude protocol works is because you're generating that feeling of gratitude. And then, in your heart center, you're actually like exuding gratitude, not just like, oh, what a pain in the ass. I got to let me fill out my 5-minute journal. Check.
That's right.
That's not gratitude.
No, it's not. And I will be the first to admit, our nightly practice at our dinner table with our family, I have two girls and a boy, 6, 14, and 18 now, just turned 18. And I'll be the first to admit that we're doing this practice for like 7 or 8 years now, a long time. There are definitely some nights, especially where they were at the beginning, but even now, where, when it comes time to gratitude, are the kids maybe sometimes going through the motions? Yes, they are. But you know what? I'll take it because there are other times when I absolutely know that folks are able to get to a place of authentic, heart-centered gratitude. I certainly know I work on that too. Of course, I get it wrong sometimes too. But if I get it wrong, to your point, if you're just going through the motions, if I'm just going through the motions, it won't work. So I don't want that. So I might as well try to go there and just be super grateful. I had a weird. I do a lot on Clubhouse now. I'm hosting all these shows on Clubhouse.
I want to follow you. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Give me a follow. So we had we're actually building a club called the Likeable Business Club. A lot of really, really cool stuff. So we had this really weird room and people were just asking, it was an Ask Me Anything, but a lot of people were asking really strange questions and there was a lot of technical glitches and I was kind of annoyed. Oh, and right before this room, I'm on a, not supposed to use the D word. I'm on a fitness, health, weight loss journey. Okay. And I had lost 22 pounds, but I was thank you. But I was up a pound this morning. So I was in this like not so grateful mood. And this guy comes on the Clubhouse and he asks a question and then he goes, and I just want to share my gratitude. I met you, Dave, in an Uber 5 years ago. I was your Uber driver and I've been following you since. And it was like, oh my God. It was like such a mindset shifter. I was able to just get out of my own way and think, oh my God, to hear his gratitude and then to be able to feel my gratitude for
feel it.
Followed me and stayed with me. And it was just amazing and just instantaneous mood shift, instantaneous mind shift. It's a perfect example. And I was just like, I mean, it's like who needs expensive therapy or antidepressants? An authentic moment of gratitude really makes you feel that good. Like, wow, it was really great. So yeah, I'll challenge all of us, including myself, when we are having those moments where we feel like maybe we're going through the motions, to take a step back and try to your point, Kalika, try to really feel that gratitude authentically.
Yeah, because might as well make it efficient and productive, right? Why waste your time otherwise? Well, that's wonderful. Look at you affecting everyone around you, even an Uber driver. That is just gives me goosebumps. That is just, right? Doesn't that just make your day? Oh my God.
The thing is,
we're coaching even in the Uber.
we never know. There's a great quote, be kind because you don't know, what the
Right.
person's been through. We never know. We never know. And we never know. It's such a big world. I'm like, maybe I'll go into business with this guy now. Who knows? So we might as well be kind because you never know. And so to me, that was an amazing lesson of choosing kindness and to everyone around us. My wife has the best Uber rating. Uber, they rate the passengers too. I didn't know this until recently. So she's got like a 4.99
Wow.
rating as a passenger because all the Uber drivers love her so much. So I'm gonna work on getting my own passenger Uber rating up because there's just no downside to kindness because you never know, like you said.
You know, you brought up your wife so many different times. I would love to, because I also work with my husband as well too. How do you make it work? Can you give us some suggestions? There's lots of entrepreneurs that work together.
Yeah, totally. And it was really a struggle at first, for sure. We brought because we were business partners from the start and of
Were
life.
you married before?
We had just gotten married.
Okay.
We had this crazy wedding. We got married at a baseball stadium. We sponsored the wedding, and we raised $100,000 in sponsorships, and we generated so much media that our vendors said this was amazing. What are you guys going to do next? And we couldn't get married again, so we started a company instead. And we were good marketers, but we really, like I said, we knew nothing about building a business, entrepreneurship, et cetera. And in the early couple of years, we fought a lot, and we brought work problems home and home problems to work. It was just disastrous in that way. And I think we learned along the way to set much better boundaries, to over communicate, communicate, and to know our roles and to respect each other's roles, just like we would with any employees. But really, just to communicate and then to not and to set those boundaries and not take work issues home or home issues to work. And then the last thing, to get back to what I said in the beginning, is time away for ourselves, just the two of us. Every single year, we do an anniversary trip, which is more fun. And then we do a strategic planning retreat, which is sort of more serious in terms of like future planning and goals and whatnot.
Have you ever read For Better or For Work?
Yes, I know Meg.
Yes.
I blurbed that book, actually. I read
Yeah.
it. She's great, Meg Hirschberg. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
on the podcast,
Oh, nice.
and I'm in her book. Yeah. You should be in that book. You should be in the book.
I
That book
reviewed
was
it. I think I blurbed it. I'm pretty sure.
that book is incredible. After EMP, I actually drove to their house and stayed with them for a couple of days, and then we recorded a podcast in their beautiful Lake Squaw where they filmed on Golden Pond. Like, oh,
Wow.
you so awesome. So it's communication, but I think it's like also kind communication. For me, that's what I have to work on. Like, sometimes when you just get like a little irritated, like I have to watch my tone sometimes.
Well, because the ones we love the most are, and the ones that we know love us are the ones that sometimes we feel like we can be the hardest on. But
Yeah.
in the long run, of course, and again, we had our share of challenges, but in the long run, that kindness and love and respect is so important in all relationships, but most important in our relationship with our spouse, for sure.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on being able to have the awareness and figuring it out. It's phenomenal. Okay. So what are you looking forward to?
So 2021, I'm looking forward to rolling off my president of the board role at EO and becoming an EO member again for a bit. I'm looking forward to building our businesses, including Apprentice and Remembering.live and listening and beyond, the business that we're building on top of Clubhouse. I'm looking forward to my daughter. She's starting school. My daughter's starting college in the fall at Boston University, where I went to school. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm looking forward most of all, Karika, to the world sort of getting back out there and seeing each other and hugging each other.
Yeah.
I shook my first hand the other day in a year and a half. I brought my son my 6-year-old to a birthday party. So it's like, because we're used to hugs for people that we love, but handshakes are like the more acquaintances, right? And so I took my son to this birthday party, and it was a great party. At the end, I was like, "Hey, thanks so much for having us." And I stuck my hand out because, old habit. And he just stuck his hand out too. And then we were like, "Oh my God, we just shook each other's hand. That's such a big deal." Really. I'm looking forward to, it's so cliche to say the world getting back to normal, but so instead I'll say I'm really just looking forward to the world getting back out there and seeing people and hugging people and shaking people's hands and going out to Broadway in New York City and going out to, lots
Baseball
of
game.
baseball games and just going out to experience life for everything it has to offer.
Yeah. So how can people find you?
I'm easy to find thanks to my being on social media in the background. All things Dave Kerpen, Kerpen. I still come up for all things likable, even though technically, as of a month ago, that's no longer my thing. But yeah, I'm on every social network: LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and Clubhouse and Pinterest and Instagram and you name it. So and one of my core values, Kalika, is responsiveness. So if anyone has a question, comment, anything, anytime, I work very, very hard, no matter how many messages I get to respond. So, and of course, nothing makes me happier than talking to fellow EO members, because I have a special place in my heart for EO members. They're the best.
Awesome. And then Clubhouse, I mean, they can follow you on Clubhouse too, you said? Like same thing, likable?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
is
I
it
do a
Dave
daily
Kerpen?
gratitude room actually on Clubhouse every morning at 8:30 Eastern time. We do a gratitude room, and yeah, we've got lots of interesting programming that we're building on there.
Is that going to be a new company?
Yeah, it is. It's called Listening and Beyond. It's a social audio media company, and we're doing our first event in July in New York City, and lots of interesting things to develop on that. So I can't sit still for long, as you can see, but I think there's a really interesting opportunity for getting people together offline and outside of social audio apps like Clubhouse, because people are talking, and it's a very interesting, intimate experience, but then they go their separate ways. But I think to actually get people together offline and beyond listening, beyond the room itself, can be beneficial.
I think that's great that you're actually so aware, because that is one thing that I thought was missing from Clubhouse. And here you are solving it again. The true serial entrepreneur. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for spending time with us. Thank you so much for sharing, adages like be kind, because everyone is, facing a hard battle. I'm really sorry about your loss, but I think that you have, the strength persists in us, and no matter the lows that we suffer through, it doesn't define us, right?
Totally. I am so grateful to you, Kalika, for having me on. I'm not supposed to say this, but every day at the dinner table, I said we share one person that we're grateful for at the table and one person not at the table. You're my person today. So thank you very, very much for having me on and letting me share a little bit more about my story and experiences for the amazing EO crowd. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
You're phenomenal. Thank you so much.